Yep, good. So good afternoon, everyone. So welcome to Edu and Migration's online migration marathon seminar. So today will be New South Wales Day. We will be talking about New South Wales state nomination and the University of Newcastle. So my name is Dean. I'm the manager and registered migration agents from Edu and Migration. Today we have two speakers. We have Namo Kim, my colleague, who is also a registered migration agent. So Namo will take the first part to talk about the state nomination policy for New South Wales in the new financial year 2021 to 2022. And we also have Wing, regional manager from the University of Newcastle, when we'll talk about the popular programs and scholarship availability for international students. So before we start, so I would like to do a quick poll test. So this question is about which city, apart from Sydney, do you know in New South Wales? So you can choose the one you are most familiar with. Cool. So we have Newcastle as the most popular one among the other three cities. So during our seminar, if you have any question about state nomination or the University of Newcastle, you can feel free to type in the chat box or the Q&A section. So now I will pass it to Namo to start the New South Wales state nomination.
Share the screen. Yep. Hello, everyone. Just 1 second. Yep. Hello, everyone. My name is Namu Kim. I'm the registered migration agent and working for the Seoul Edu Migration. So today, as Tina already mentioned, that we are gonna discuss about the New South Wales state nomination. So, and then followed by the University of Newcastle representative, we'll talk about the study option in New South Wales. Okay, so the first part, then I will briefly explain the why the New South Wales is the best option for you. And then I will talk about the New South Wales state nomination overview, and then specific requirement for the two visa nomination, which is 190 and 491. And also I will make some New South Wales state nomination, the questions from you guys and give you the on-spot answers. And then this is my part, and after that, again, the New South Wales University of Newcastle representative will present about the study option. Okay, let's start about the state nomination. Before I explain you about the very specific reason and the requirement for the state nomination, but I would like to explain you about the why New South Wales provides you the best opportunity for in terms of the migration purpose. Maybe a lot of students already know that in this financial year, the government already introduced about the migration planning level, which clearly shows that New South Wales has the biggest quota allocation from the department. So they will issue more invitation to the 190 and 491 nomination visa. So which means you will have more opportunity to get the invitation from the New South Wales. And then specific data and the number, I will explain you in the next slide. And then the second reason why the New South Wales is the best option for you is that there are many universities, especially for the world-class universities in New South Wales. So you have a better environment for study, and also after that you have more opportunity for the migration. And the third one is the most interesting, and then at the moment, most of the migration related visa require you to have the job, which means if you have job after you study, you will have a more opportunity to get the permanent visa later on. In terms of the job opportunity, New South Wales is the provides you the best opportunity for you. In here, I can research that 45% of the top 500 Australian companies are located in New South Wales, which means more companies and related partners are in New South Wales. So you will have more chance to get a job after you complete your course. And then many people and many industry experts say that New South Wales economy is booming. And of course, at the moment, because of the COVID situation, all state and all over the world is economy is quite slow. But of course, if we pass this difficult time, then New South Wales economy gonna be booming again. So more company and more opportunity. So I think the third reason is the most important reason why you choose the New South Wales. And also, the New South Wales has a many regional area, and then there are many regional opportunities. So Newcastle, Wollongong, Byron Bay, they all belong to the regional New South Wales. So you have a broadened opportunity in New South Wales. And also for the 491 nomination, there are 3 different streams in the 491 nomination, which means you have a more flexible approach to achieve your nomination through the 491 nomination in New South Wales. And the other one is also for the 491, one of the 491 nomination, they provide the nomination opportunity for the students who graduate in regional New South Wales. So maybe some state like Queensland and Victoria, they don't give any like a benefit for their students who complete their study in that state. But New South Wales, for the 491 nomination, there are opportunity that students who complete the study in New South Wales regional area, and they will have the nomination opportunity as well. And for the New South Wales, I believe some of you guys actually try to come to the New South Wales from the interstate, which means even though you are in Victoria, even though you are in Queensland, even though you are in Tasmania, you still have an opportunity to apply the 491 nomination. I believe this is the only state that accept the other state applicants at the moment without any specific condition like a job offer condition thing. So these are the main reason why I believe the New South Wales is the best state to prepare your migration plan. Okay, let's move to the next slide. So from the previous slide, I already mentioned that the New South Wales received the huge allocation for the nomination from Department of Home Affairs. So this is the number from the Department of Home Affairs website. As you can see, New South Wales received the 4,000 quota for the 190 visa. So in Australia, in total, 14,400 is released, and then around 30% of the total quota is allocated to the New South Wales. This means a lot actually. And then for the 491, exactly similar, that around 30% of the total quota is allocated to the 491. So which means you will have more opportunity to get the invitation from the state. So let's say that in Queensland, for example, they have only 1,000 quota for the 190, which means the state only can issue the 1,000 invitation for the state nomination. But New South Wales, they have 4,000. Let's compare to the Victoria. Yes, Victoria is a similar number for the 190 nomination. However, can you look at the 491 quota allocation? So Victoria has only 500 allocation. However, New South Wales has a 3,640 allocation for the even 491. So for both visa have the biggest allocation among all the state and territory. So I believe this means a lot. Then means you can maybe have a more opportunity compared to the other state. Okay, let's talk more about the visa now. But before I move to the specific requirement for the 190 and 491, I want to remind you that you must also think about the visa requirement from the Department of Home Affairs. So a lot of clients and students, they are forget about the visa requirement and they are only focused on the nomination requirement. But before we talk about the nomination requirement, let's talk a little bit about the visa requirement, which means if you don't meet the visa requirement, even though you meet the nomination requirement, your visa cannot be granted. So visa requirement, nomination requirement, you have to meet both requirements at the same time. So the basic visa requirement, your age must be less than 45 and you must have at least 6.0, the competent English skill. Also, you have to pass the skill assessment and your point must be at least 65 points, include state nomination points. So let's say 190, if you wanna express of your interest for the 190, you require at least 60 points because from the nomination approval, you will get the extra 5 points from there. And then if you are thinking about the 491, you only require the 50 points because the state nomination approval will give you extra 15 points, so you can make a 65. But I said at least 65 points, which means with only 65 points, it's not guaranteed you get the invitation because New South Wales actually removed this part we call the selection criteria. So previous financial year, we clearly see that New South Wales like to invite the people with a higher point. So which means, yes, you can maybe prepare and start on the process for the nomination if you achieve the 65 point, but maybe your competitor, maybe your friend, have a higher point means your friend have higher chance to get the invitation. Okay, so these are the basic visa requirements. So you must think about this one. You don't only think about the nomination part. So this is the basic requirement. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the 190 nomination in New South Wales. The occupation is very important. To go through the New South Wales 190 nomination, your occupation must be under the New South Wales skilled occupation list. So it is quite changed often, so you must monitor the official website closely. So let's maybe move to the website. So this is the official website from the New South Wales government. And then if you click the skilled occupation list, then you can have the 190 visa, skilled nominated visa occupation list in here. So there are only 4 sectors now available. And then you can find each occupation by checking the website. And let's go back to slide. Yeah, so if you find that your occupation and is under the New South skilled occupation list for the 190, and you can also check about the eligibility. So at the moment for the New South Wales 190 nomination, they require the residential requirement, which is you must currently living in New South Wales, and also you currently employed or you genuinely continuously reside in New South Wales for the past 3 months. So this is the only requirement that you have to think about it. So the invitation round for the 190 that they don't actually specify when they're gonna invite the people for the 190 nomination. So they maybe allocate a small number every month and then they can invite based on the demand. However, again, so many applicants who are already living in the New South Wales, they may, and then their occupation is under the skilled occupation list, they must check whether they meet the point, at least 65, and then whether they are currently living and then they are lived at least 3 months before, or they are currently employed in the nominated occupation, and also they have passed their skill assessment in nominated occupation. If it is ready, then it's time to the EOI. So here is the step for the, oh, sorry, it's 190. Sorry about that. This is the step for the 190 visa. So you can, if you meet the requirement, you can submit the EOI through the skill select, and then you don't need to apply anything to the government, New South Wales government. So based on your EOI, you can choose the New South Wales as your destination state. Then New South Wales government will see your EOI, and if they think you meet their hidden the requirement, they will send you the invitation to apply the nomination. So once you get the nomination invitation from the New South Wales, you will apply the nomination. Finally, your nomination application will be processed, and then finally will be approved. So once you got a approval notification from the New South Wales government, then the Department of Home Affairs, the Immigration Department, will issue the visa invitation. So once you get the visa invitation, you will launch the visa. So again, so for the 190, you don't need to contact the New South Wales. You can simply create your EOI on skill select, and then New South Wales government will check your EOI, and then they will give you the nomination invitation. Once you get the nomination invitation, you can simply apply the nomination, and if your nomination is approved, you will get the visa invitation. And finally, you apply the 190 visa, and your 190 visa will be granted. And finally, you get the permanent visa. Okay, next one, 491. It's a little bit different with the 190. There are 3 different streams in 491 nomination. The first stream is living and working regional New South Wales. And second stream is you have completed your study in regional New South Wales. And the last stream 3, I am skilled in an occupation required in regional New South Wales. In here, you must clearly understand, as I mentioned, for the 190, there are no specific date that New South Wales will issue the invitation. So New South Wales will just continuously check the EOI, and then they will issue the invitation once they select someone to give the visa. But for the 491, we have a specific date that we express our interest. So we call the ROI submission window, which is register of the interest. So we have to register of our interest by through the submission window. And then this window is only open on October, it's already open, and January and March for this financial year. So I'm not sure the next financial year, but the New South Wales state nomination already announced that they will only open for the window submission for the ROI for only on October, January, and March. So if you miss this day, then you don't have any chance to get the invitation for the 491. Okay, let's a little bit talk about the each stream. But before that, here is the entire map of the New South Wales regional area. As you can see, the Sydney is here, but the other part of the New South Wales belong to the all regional area. And then there are 14 RDAs in New South Wales. RDA means Regional Development Authority, which means kind of the area that you can apply for the regional visa. So there are many different RDA in New South Wales, but important thing, later on I will mention, but each RDA has their own occupation list for the certain stream. So it's a little bit tricky for the 491, but I will explain one by one for you. So let's talk more about the stream 1. What is stream 1? That you are living and working in regional New South Wales for at least 12 months. So that's why they must be have the valid skill assessment and living in the regional New South Wales for the 12 months and working in your nominated occupation for the 12 months. And then for the state nomination in the New South Wales, and it only 20 hours per week should be okay to meet the nomination requirement. But for the stream one combined occupation list and stream two occupation list is totally different. So I may share that how you can find the occupation list. So this is the same page that we looked at for the 190 occupation list. And then this one for the 491 occupation list. For the 491, stream 1 occupation list and stream 2, 3 occupation list are different. So stream 1, there is a common occupation list regardless of your location. However, stream 2, you must find where you're located, and then you have to find the correct occupation based on each RDA. So let's see the stream 1 first. The stream 1 combined occupation list. As you can see, chef, restaurant manager, counter, marketing specialist, engineer, and nurse. Yeah, there are heaps of the occupation list in here. So if you are looking for the stream 1 nomination for the 491, you must look at the combined occupation list for the stream 1. So there are many confusion about this part, but again, if you gonna go through the state nomination based on the stream 1 requirement, then you must see the combined occupation list for under the stream 1. And so stream 1, that again, that you must have the valid skill assessment, and also you have to live and working in the regional New South Wales at least 12 months. And stream 2, that again, I showed that its occupation list is totally different with the stream 1. And the stream 2 is based on your completion of a study in the New South Wales regional area. Let's say the latter one, Newcastle will present and university, and then maybe the Newcastle and then New University of England, that all the university in the New South Wales regional area, the students who graduate from those universities are eligible to apply the stream 2. And then luckily for the stream 2, they don't actually require you to have employment in your nominated occupation list. So that's why we have the client who complete the Master of Professional Accounting from the New England and Newcastle University. They can go through the 491 visa from the stream 2 requirement. But to meet the stream 2 requirement, you must complete the study in the regional university, college, or pay for at least 2 years study. And then you can have only 2 years to apply this nomination from your completion of a study. So if you are about to complete your study in regional New South Wales, you must think about how you get into the stream 2. Just completion of your study doesn't give you any nomination option, because you have to pass the skill assessment. Also, you also have to pass the English, and you also think about your point. But compared to the stream 1 and stream 2, the stream 1, that we see some low point applicants also get the invitation, but stream 2, I feel like competition is stronger than stream 1. However, still, you can go through the stream 2 nomination if you have completed your study in the regional New South Wales in the past 12 months. And the last one is stream 3. Again, this stream 3 has the specific occupation list. And then each RDA has their own occupation list. And this one doesn't require you to live in the New South Wales. Let's say for the marketing specialist, even I'm working and living in Queensland, and then I can still have an opportunity to apply the stream 3 nomination for the New South Wales. But again, for my occupation, marketing specialist must be under the certain RDA's occupation list. So maybe let's go to the occupation list again. So here, we don't know, let's say Orana. Yeah, in the Orana region, there are marketing specialists for the stream 2 and 3. But Northern Rivers, let's say, oh, there are no marketing specialists. So if I'm working and living in the Queensland, then maybe I can apply the ROI, register my interest through the submission window for the Orana region through the stream 3 requirement. Sorry about that. Okay. Presentation. Yeah, so stream 3 doesn't require you to live in the New South Wales, but you have to find your nominated occupation is under the stream 2 and 3 occupation list from certain RDA. So it's quite tricky. But I mentioned that stream 1 has more opportunity with this like a lower point than stream 2. But for the stream 3, that I believe it required a very high higher point than more relevant experience to go through the stream 3, because all the RDA, I believe they will give the priority for the stream 1 and stream 2 first. And then if they can't find the skilled worker in specific occupation, they may look into the stream 3. So even though there is a stream 3 is available, but I can say it's quite comparative. So if you are already in the New South Wales, you can just prepare stream 1 first, and then maybe if you graduate from the New South Wales the regional area, then you can go through stream 1 and 2 at the same time. And sorry, this is a 491. I just mismatched the previously the slide, but state nomination step for the 491, that you must pass the skill assess, and then you have to reach the at least 40 point, 50 point, right? It's 491. Then you are ready to go through. But when you do the EOI, after that, the difference with the 190, you have to do the ROI through the submission window. And this is only available for October, January, and March, because August is already passed. So after EOI again, you have to do the ROI through the submission window. Then the New South Wales government will see your ROI, and they select and they invite you to apply the nomination. And once you apply the nomination, your state nomination is assessed, and then finally your state nomination will be granted. At the same time, your visa invitation will be issued from the Department of Home Affairs. So it's one more step in here. Again, 190, you just create your EOI and select destination state as a New South Wales, and New South Wales government will look at your EOI and you invite you to apply the nomination. However, for the 491, you can't wait. You just do the ROI after you get after you create the EOI. You do the ROI first, then the NSW government will see your ROI, and if they need, they will invite you to apply the nomination. Then finally, you apply nomination, we get the positive outcome. At the same time, we get the visa invitation. So this is the entire step for the 491 application. So here is a New South Wales nomination tip. From my side, a lot of students who already complete the regional, the school, like a university, college in TAFE in New South Wales, they are looking to the stream 2 nomination for the 491, but I always encourage them to find a job and prepare the stream 1 and stage 2 at the same time, because stream 1 has more chance, I believe. It's from my experience, my own opinion. But stream one always have more chance, even with less point. And then New South Wales, so far, they actually released and opened the selection criteria. But this financial year, they just hide. But before this financial year, they always open for the selection criteria, which means they just always rank the which candidate they will give the invitation first. So from the previous history, we can see they always try to invite with higher point and with strong English and employment. So if you want to get a more chance, I'm telling you that you always try to achieve a higher English score and then find a job in related to your occupation. Then you will have an extra point from the English, extra point from the work experience. Finally, you will have a higher point than your friend. So you will get a more chance to get one. And then at the moment, 190, even though the New South Wales has the biggest cutoff for the 190 nomination, but still 190 is comparative because many people, but limited quota. So that's why I always present my client to have the two visa options, which is 190 and 491 at the same time. So if we, let's say chef, then if you are chef, then why you only try to work in the Sydney, Greater Sydney, you can maybe move to the regional area. Then you can prepare the 190 and 491 at the same time. So if 190 invited, you can go to the 190. But if 190 is not invited, then after 12 months, you still have a chance to get through the 491 stream 1 nomination. So always try to make more visa options to make a successful story. So if you currently try graduate, if you are about to graduate, think about the moving to the some regional area, then you will have more visa option. And then maybe in New South Wales, if you haven't studied yet, then I believe IT, engineering, nursing, social work, and cookery is still very attractive occupation. So if you find the study option related with this occupation, I think you have a good opportunity to get through the state nomination in New South Wales. And then, so if you hasn't started the study yet, then I'm encourage you to contact us first, then find out your migration plan first. So a lot of students contact us after they enroll the university or TABE or the college. Then we can provide them maybe very limited opportunity, but before you get into the university or TABE or college, then we can talk first, then make your strategy, your own strategy to get the migration in Australia. Then we can recommend, oh, in terms of your situation, based on your situation, this area has a high chance to get the permanent visa. So maybe we can guide you to enroll the certain school in that area. So please contact us first before you get into any study. And again, our company, so ADM Migration, we're not just providing your study option, but we provide the migration option at the same time. So we have a 5 registered migration agent and the more than 50 the education counselor from the 9 different countries. So we can help you to get the best study outcome and the best migration outcome.
Okay, thank you, Namo. So now it will be the Q&A section for New South Wales State nomination. So Namo, we received 2 questions in the checkbox. So the first question is, I have filled ROI application where it was stated that 3 months working is also considered. I'm working for the last 6 months. So am I eligible for stream 1?
No. No, at the moment for the stream 1, they strictly require you to have the at least 12 months working. So even though they mention it that maybe you can go through, it's up to you, but I think there are less chance to get through the stream one because we are currently experiencing that the competition is higher and higher compared to the August round. So yeah, the too many applicants are applying, even they have the 12 months working experience and then working and living history. So I believe if you are in only 3 months working experience, then yeah, you can go through, but I think you have some less chance to get the invitation.
Okay, so second question is quite similar. What I heard recently, I don't have to work for the past 12 months in New South Wales now. Is that true?
I think this question comes from the 190.
Mm,
So 491 stream one, they clearly mentioned in 12 months, and then
yeah,
our company never had any experience to get the invitation for the nomination if applicant is less than 12 months. But for the 190, yes, you don't require to have the work experience, 12 months experience. Okay, 190 state nomination, you living in New South Wales, and then you have a and you are currently working, or you have living in users in the past 3 months. So that's why in the 190, technically you don't have a work experience requirement. So I think this question is belong to the 190.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay. So we also have two more questions here
Yep.
from Diana. Do you know any other visa which accept professionals over 45 years old?
Or if your age is 45, maybe then you can use the Dharma in certain area like Cairn, the Queensland, and then South Australia. So there are specific the regional agreement with the department. So even though you are in the over 45, they will still consider to apply the TSS visa through the Dharma agreement. So I think except Dharma, I don't think you have opportunity from my side in terms of the skilled visa.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the
Yeah.
Dharma is
Mhm.
the one option for you. Yeah,
Yeah, because for 189, 190, or 491, they strictly require
yeah,
applicant to be under 45 years old.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Mm.
And the second question is there any state original visa which does not require 65 points? Probably I can answer this
Mm.
question. So if you mean after including the state nomination points, if you still cannot achieve 65, then no, you can't. So you must meet at least 65 points for any states because this is the requirement from the Department of Home Affairs, which you must meet. Yeah. And then one more question. I just got a registered nurse job at an aged care in New South Wales after finishing my degree in Wollongong. I currently have 90 points without state nomination. Am I eligible to apply for 190 visa without any minimum work experience requirements? Or can I go for 189 visa?
I think you can go through the 189, 190 at the same time and then see which one give you the invitation. But basically for the 190, if you finished your degree, then it's time to get through the skill assessment as a RN, maybe NEC. Then you can get the valid skill assessment. Yeah, I think it's time to go through the EOI for the 189 and 190 at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. So if any attendees have any question, you can always feel free to type in the chat box or Q&A box. So another question, I'm a student in Darwin for vet course. Am I eligible for 491 visa?
Yeah, again, the 491, there are many different streams, but stream three, they are accepting the ROI, I mean, register of interest from the students in other state as well. But this stream is quite comparative and then require the maybe very higher point. But yes, basically, in terms of the eligibility, yes, you can apply the ROI through the stage stream three for 491 nomination.
And probably I can ask number one popular question.
Yep.
So for New South Wales state nomination, does it require applicant to be currently holding some specific visa? Because for some state, let's say for Queensland in the past, they require applicant to be currently holding a full-time working visa, let's say such as 485 or 482. So for New South Wales state nomination, do they require you to have a current full-time working visa?
Oh, as far as I know, that they don't have a specific visa list that they can apply the state nomination because let's say even though they require the work experience, the nomination work experience requirement is 20 hours per week. But most of the visa, then they can go through the 20 hours work, and then even though for the 190, they don't require the specific work experience. But if you meet the any other residential requirements from your visa, then I think you can go through the nomination of the EOI
Yeah,
regardless of your current visa.
yeah, cool. And then probably we will use this one as the last question before
Yep,
we pass it to Wing.
yep.
So do you know or have experience with employment sponsorship visas, or do you know what is going to happen with the COVID visa? This question is from Diana.
Hmm. Do you know or have experience in this? Yeah, of course we know, and of course we
Mm,
have a lot of experience about the employment sponsor visa, and also we do a lot of case for the COVID, the pandemic visa, which is a 408 visa. But in this time, it's very hard to explain all the visa specifically. So, but again, I'm welcome to get your question later on. So maybe you can contact our team and then ask about this question. Then I can explain later with through the other channel.
yeah. Okay. Thank you, Namo. So we will now pass it to Wing. Wing is the regional manager from the University of Newcastle. So Wing today will talk about the popular programs and scholarship availability for international students. And again, for UNIT Newcastle is the regional university from regional New South Wales. So as Namo just introduced, there will be Stream 2 applicable for UNIT Newcastle graduates if they study 2 years in UNIT Newcastle. So same, if you have any question regarding UNIT Newcastle, you can type in the checkbox or put it in the Q&A box. So now, Wayne, I will give it to you.
Thank you, Tim. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are well during this special time of your life. It's a COVID pandemic. We never seen this before. So I hope you are safe and well. Today, I only got 15 minutes to present the programs to you. I will mainly highlight the ones that help you to achieve your migration goal. If you have any questions, I can explain in details during the Q&A session. You might feel my presentation a little bit blunt, just because we have very short time. I can't really go into much details. And if you want to know about the city of Newcastle or Hunter Valley or Port Stephens, I think Google will be her very best tool. But again, if you have any questions regarding the lifestyle or city, we can discuss during the Q&A session. So I'd like to start with the business programs. As I was told by Tim, probably most of you are mature students. You might be looking at the postgraduate programs. So we are offering a number of different masters, a single masters. So you can complete each single master of business degrees within probably 1 year and 2 months. And depends on your backgrounds. So if you have complete a bachelor degree in Australia in business stream, we will automatically give you 2 units off. And if you have got a credit average, we will give you 4 subjects off. So really depends on your GPA. And also if you are graduate from overseas, we will certainly do assessment based on your qualifications. At the same time, you can also do a double degree within 2 years. So you can select any of the master stream plus MBA. So this has been very popular programs for our international students. And you can study the program either in Newcastle, that's our main campus. We have got 2 campuses in Newcastle, 1 campus in Central Coast, and 1 campus in Sydney, and we got another campus in Port Macquarie. The fees roughly for the masters will cost you about nearly $40,000 per 8 subjects. But however, we will give you a very generous scholarship, and I will brief that at the end of the presentation. The law program, if any student want to be a lawyer, that's a migration study as well. So you can choose to do the jury doctor program, which is 3 years. That will be including 6 months graduate diploma in legal practice. So within 3 years, you can complete the program, and you will be eligible to be a lawyer in Australia. So within the jury doctor program, we are offering 285 hours working experiences. So 105 hours are internal with Newcastle Law School, and 180 hours for external working placement that will be arranged by the university. All right, engineerings. So for any students are coming from an engineering background, it's very strong demand, careers in Australia in general, but we have to classify into what part of engineering are you looking at. So here is a rough study disciplines among engineering at Newcastle. As you will see, I'm not going to read through all of them. But again, if you have any question in regards of any stream, we can discuss during the Q&A. The master degree will takes 2 years to complete. What's wrong? Yeah, so the Master of Engineering we are offering in 4 different streams. They are civil, mechanical, electrical and electronic, geospatial and surveying. It says 1 to 3 years, but in general, if you get an engineering degree, we are going to offer you a 2 years program. And if you have got advanced engineering, say if you have some working experiences as an engineer, we could give you more exemptions. So it will shorten your course probably into 1 year as a minimum. And again, we have a scholarship for the engineering program as well. I will mention that at the end of the slides. So Bachelor of Computer Science, Bachelor of IT, they are all ACS accredited. So if you are a high school student right now, we offer quite a large number of undergraduate programs to our international students as well that lead you a pathway to achieve your migration goal. And we have got Master of IT. So Master of IT is a 2 years program, and it can be shortened into 1.5 years if you come from the same background or related backgrounds. The Master of IT starts 3 times a year, so we run it on a trimester basis. It will commence in February, May, and September. And you can do this program either in Newcastle or in the Sydney campus. It is quite, or you can either do cross-campus study. That means you enroll partially of your programs in Sydney and partially in Newcastle. And the fees for the MIT is relatively cheaper, roughly about $37,000 per year for 8 subjects. Here is a selection of the program you can do under IT. In Newcastle, when we're teaching IT, we're not just teaching computer system or softwares. We also can engage, stretch that into mass communication, digital video, robotics, game design. Architecture. Well, architect is also a nominated career for migration in the Hunter region and probably in many areas in New South Wales. So we have got a Master of Architecture for 2 years. If you have got an architecture background, you will be eligible to apply this degree. The benefits of studying architecture at Newcastle is we are doing studio-based learning methods. We mix up students from year 1 up to year 5 under the same studio, which means this way will be more practical for you to learn, and it's more practical for you to explore your ideas with other people, with your peers. And we have got 6 different professors awarded with AIA gold medal in Australia. That's another unique advantage for Newcastle teaching architecture. In many other universities, they only got 1, maximum 2 AIA gold medalists to teach their students. Bachelor of Construction Management is becoming a very popular program because it's quite new and there's no many university in Australia to offer this program. It's a 4 years program on a degree, and you don't have to study the master to get accreditation. And both of accreditation for this program, student will be getting a construction manager as well as a quantity surveyor. So both of them are on the nominated occupational list in New South Wales. Here's accreditation. And more than 90% of the construction management students, they have got a full-time job even before their graduation, just because the construction industry is booming in Australia, and it's quite easy for students to fit into a job. Okay, let's go into Bachelor of Nursing and some other health medical degrees that will give you, a career for your whole lifetime. You never lose your job if you get into those industries. So we have got, let's talk about Bachelor of Nursing first. We have got the first year entry for Bachelor of Nursing, which is 3 years. And then we have got a second year entry, which means if you are doing a diploma of nursing in Australia, you can progress into the second year directly, and you complete 2 years and you will become a accredited nurse in Australia. So that's a nurse program, and nothing special about it. There are 2 more programs I want to introduce to you that are also on the nominating list, and very strong career. I mean, strong career, of course, you find the job very easy once you graduate. Secondly, you will have very good income in those jobs. So the first one would be the Bachelor of Medical Radiation Science, major in diagnostic radiography. The other one is radiation therapy. So those degrees will train students to be a radiation therapist. So, you can do a scan for cancer, you can do a scan for tumor, for pregnancy, anything in related to scanning or radiatiography, and you will be entitled as a doctor as well. So this program has been accredited by Australian Health Board, so that will give you accreditation, a qualification, and to work in the medical industries. And the second booming one is the Bachelor of Podiatry. It's a 3 years program, and this has been accredited by AFA as well, the Australian Health Board, which means you will be able to working as a clinic practitioner for food disease. Okay, of course we have got, Bachelor of Pharmacy, Bachelor of Physiotherapy. It's on the list. Pharmacy is not. I don't think pharmacy is on the list right now. Occupational therapist is on the list as well. But this program has been traditionally very popular. We already have lots of physiotherapists in the suburb, but we don't have too many podiatrists right now. So I think it's a very good time to taking this program. And for all the program, we have got a quota. Except nursing, we have got a quite big volume. But for podiatry, medical radiation science, physiotherapy, we only got 10 to 15 seats per year. And all the program listed on this page, they only start once a year in February. Okay, there's nothing on the migration from this one. There's another master degree I'd like to introduce to you. It's not on the nominational list, but it could be helpful for your future career. Maybe now you are studying, I don't know, professional accounting, but in the future you don't have to be working as an accountant only after you migrate, right? So you're gonna think about your career as a long-term, whether you want to be a consultant, whether you want to be a university teacher, or whether you want to be a trainer running your training institutions. So Master of Business Psychology will train people come from different backgrounds into more consultation roles. So it's very upgrading personal skill studies. So yeah, so if you are thinking about your career for long term, this program will be very helpful. Bachelor of Social Work, it's a 4 years honor degree. Within the study, we are arranging our student to do roughly about 1,000 hours work placement during the 4 years of study. And most of the students has been fully employed before their graduation, just because in Australia in general, in the public sector, in the social welfare sectors, we need lots of social workers, which is in a shortage still. Bachelor of Speech Pathology is another very strong demanded career, not just in Australia, but around the world as well. So within this study, we are arranging more than 20 weeks work placement around the world, not just in Australia. We have got students did their work placement, I think in China, in Korea, in Italy. We're working with a few different universities around the world to place our student to have a global experiences when they're studying speech pathology. Creative design, they are not on the migration nomination list, but if you are art student, if you come from music backgrounds, nowadays 190 visa is possible, employer sponsor. So if you are come from that industry, probably stick with what you are good at. You will always get a great chance to find a job if you are really good in Australia. So scholarships. So we are offering roughly about $10,000 per year during the first 3 years of your study. Well, most of the programs are shorter than 3 years. Say if you are planning to take some program for 4 years, we can only offer you for the first 3 years But if you do 1 year or 2 years master degrees, you will definitely receive $10,000 per year for the first 1 or 2 years. And this scholarship requires students to have an ATA of 75 equivalent or a GPA of 4.7 out of 7. That is like in between pass and credit average. Students have to commence in 2022. If you are in Australia, regardless where you're from, you will be eligible for this scholarship. However, the scholarship is now included in the quota program. The quota program has been listed on our website. If you are interested, I can share the link with you later on, but it's only for about 10 study areas, like 10 degrees. Most of them are in the health medical degrees. There's no application required for this scholarship. We will automatically assess your application and do a deduction on your offer letter. Okay, that's all about what I can give to you about the programs. Please feel free to leave your questions as you advised.
Thank you, Wayne. And probably I can ask you a question regarding the Master of Architecture. So if applicant, they graduated with a Bachelor of Architecture or related background, do they still need to submit a portfolio?
Yeah. So a portfolio is compulsory for architecture students.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I don't think we're going to go hard on the portfolio.
Yeah.
To entry Master of Architecture, we are requiring a GPA of 4.5.
4.5, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not very high in general.
Yeah. Okay. And for the Master of Professional Engineering, is the program fully accredited by EA?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So if anyone have any question for Unit Newcastle, please type in the checkbox or type in the Q&A section. So I forgot to mention, actually, if you study your complete 2-year studies in Unit Newcastle in the regional campuses, you'll be eligible to apply for extra 485 visa, the post-study work visa after graduation. So you will have longer time to prepare for your permanent residence in Australia. So this is obvious one of the most kind of benefits studying in regional area. Okay, seems it's very clear from Wing, so no one asked questions. All right, we have a question here. So do you have master in social work?
No, we don't have master in social work. Yeah, unfortunately, sorry, we don't have that one.
Yeah, I think we already mentioned they have a Bachelor of Social Work, which is a 4 years program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We only offer the bachelor degree in social.
Yeah. And diploma in automotive? No. So for automotive, you probably can check with the TAFE or some private colleges in vocational sector.
Do you have master of social work or diploma in automotive? I just want to catch up on that. The automation studies is part of the electrical and electronic engineering. So if you are interested in automation studies, you can do that with either the Bachelor of Engineering degree in electronic or electrical, or either the master degrees. So yeah, we do have automation, but we don't call automation It's just as part of electrical engineering.
Yeah, and we have two questions from the checkbox. First one is, would like to know more about the student accommodation option in Newcastle campus.
Yeah, so accommodation, we have roughly about 6,000 students live on campus and 80% are domestic. So we have a large population domestic students compared to international. So international in Newcastle is only about not even 20%. So, when you study at Newcastle, you don't feel like you study in Asia with a foreign teacher. So you will have a very good mix with domestic and other international students. The same as when you live on accommodation. And probably most important thing about accommodation is the price. The prices range from 270 up to 470. Depends on the type of accommodation you want to live and whether it's including catering or not. In general, on-campus accommodation is a bit more expensive than you are renting a place outside the campus. Usually cost you roughly about $150 per room per week, including all the bills. And if you renting out a 2-bedroom apartment in Newcastle, there are quite many newly built apartments which are very nice. They cost you roughly about $500 per week for the whole apartment. Yeah, so that's accommodation information I can give to you. And otherwise, you can just go on the university website and have a search accommodation. Will give you more details about accommodations. The building pictures, the interiors. You can see everything in there. And on Instagram, we have got a Newcastle accommodation Instagram as well. It's been posted by the student community who live on campus.
Thank you, Wing. The next question is about asking scholarship for a doctoral degree in data science or engineering.
Yeah.
For
So,
PhD, yeah.
Yeah, the PhD or Master of Research is separate from international admissions. Usually the application has been processed by the high degree research office. Usually if you want to apply PhD, you have to get a supervisor first. And you can find all the supervisors' information on the website. If you need that kind of information, please feel free to get in touch with Tim. Tim will connect you with me. I will show you step by step how to find supervisor and how to make a PhD application. And the scholarship for PhD or Master of Research is depends on the supervisor, whether the supervisor has got funds to sponsor you or not. It's not up on the university. So yeah, so it really depends on the areas you are going to study. I could see that was data science or engineering, but again, that depends on the supervisor for each research areas.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Wing. We have two more questions here. Is about the excellent scholarship you just mentioned. Is minimum GPA required?
Yeah, minimum GPA is 4.7 out of 7. So let's put it in percentage. It's roughly about 60%.
Yeah.
So 65 is a credit, right? So
yeah.
roughly 60, yeah.
Yeah. And probably will you use this one as the last question? I want to ask if the Bachelor of Construction Management is accredited for AIQS, the Skill Assessment Authority. I believe AIQS is Australian Institute of Quantity Surveyor.
Yeah, you can apply from AIQS.
Yeah, so the program is fully accredited by AIQS. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sorry, we have one more question. Hi, Wing. I already have my master degree from overseas in design field. Do you have any suggestions for me for further study?
Sorry.
From the Q&A section.
Yeah. Can you read that question again, Tin?
Yeah.
Please.
So this student already have a master degree from overseas in design area. And do you have any suggestions for her for further studies?
Which design? What kind of design? Is it IT design or is that
Graphic design.
or graphic design? I assume it's a graphic design or art design.
Is
right?
graphic design.
So if the student has got a bachelor degree of design from overseas and depends on again depends on what kind of design. If you want to fashion design, we don't have that kind of degrees. If you want to do graphic design, we don't have a purely graphic design. We have a graphic design combined with IT. So it's more IT design that we're offering under ACS accreditations.
Yep. And one more question. If the student could be admitted into the MBA program if he finished the pre-master's program?
Could be admitted in MBA if he finished pre-master program. Yes, depends on where you finish your pre-master degree program. If that pre-master program offered by an institution in Australia, we can do case-by-case assessment.
Cool. Okay, thank you, Wing. I think this is the
design.
end.
Yeah. So she or he means graphic design. Yeah. So again, graphic design. I believe you study, arts or sketching as your original backgrounds, and we only have a graphic design in IT or communications. We don't have much design to train you to be like a real designer. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, thank you, Wing. I think this is all the questions. So thank you for joining us today. So before I finish today's webinar, I do want to remind all the attendees, we still have 5 ongoing seminars in this October, in every Tuesday and Thursday, same time, 2 to 3:30 Brisbane time. And the next one we're gonna have is on 19th of October, which is next Tuesday. We will have ACT state nomination with unique camera. Thank you again for everyone joining us. We will see you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yeah. Bye.